Hey guys, welcome back to the show. My name is Connor,
I'm Taylor.
and this is Diamond in the Rough. All right, guys, so today we're going to be taking a look at Sisu. We're joined by a very special guest, is co-creator of the channel, Ocean. He's here for his first episode on Diamond in the Rough. We're very excited to have him. Ocean,
I'm
welcome
very
aboard.
excited to be here. I'm very
Yeah.
excited to be here. Super stoked to finally be able to join you guys for an episode. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I mean you're always welcome here. So today,
Yeah,
guys,
please.
we're talking about, like Connor said, the movie Sisu. The main reason I wanted this to be on this particular show is because it's a 100% like Finnish movie. It came out actually a year ago in Finland, and it only just recently came out for a U.S. release to us, and now we're checking it out.
Yeah, I wanted to be a part of this movie specifically because I feel like this movie kind of embodies what Diamond in the Rough is all about. You know, it's not a movie that's super mainstream. It got a ton of press, and like you said, it's been out for a year already, and it's only now making it to American theaters. So, really excited to talk to you guys about this.
Yeah, thank you for being here. All right, so yeah, can you give us a quick rundown of, what the movie synopsis is about and the cast, maybe, Taylor?
Yeah, so the movie is basically set in World War II. It's obviously in Finland. It covers a miner, you're introduced him as just a miner, and you find out later that he's like an ex-commando and shit.
Yeah,
super badass.
Gold miner.
Gold miner specifically.
Gold digger.
Yeah.
And he comes, crosses path with a bunch of Nazis, and those Nazis try to steal his gold, and they do. And basically, it's just about his journey getting it back.
Yeah, they pay for it. He makes them pay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In various ways.
Right off the bat, without any spoilers. Yeah.
That will surprise you.
I have a very specific set of skills. Right off the bat, though, this movie is definitely like just a fucking badass movie. This movie is fucking super awesome. I loved all the action scenes in this movie. I loved the main guy. What was his Russian name that they called him? Do you remember?
It's like Kosha.
Yeah, it was like
Kosha the Immortal.
Yeah, they called him the Immortal.
Yeah, the translation.
He just never died, and
he refuses to die.
Yeah, killed like hundreds of Russians before the Nazis.
300 confirmed Russian killed.
Yeah, and he's just a straight badass.
Some about Finnish people destroying Russia, right? Like, I mean, obviously this guy is kind of fictional, but there's a real life person, the White Death, that literally legitimately killed hundreds of Russians.
Yeah, I mean,
there's definitely a lot of I wouldn't say a lot, but some very notable legendary people in real life that did very similar things.
Yeah, for sure. Right off the bat, how'd you guys feel about this? Without any spoilers, Taylor.
Well, this movie is generally compared to the John Wick series, just based off of its action and stuff, which makes a lot of sense. It is very fucking brutal, and it's awesome. Love watching Nazis get destroyed. The dude he's super cool. Like the guy. What's his name? Jorma Tamila. Fucking badass, dude.
Yeah. Ocean, what'd you think?
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. Watching the movie. There is one major flaw in the movie that I think if they had done this particular thing differently, it would have really, really pushed this movie over the top. Because it's really just like John Wick, where you gotta suspend belief to a certain extent, and you just gotta enjoy the ride. You just gotta have fun with it, and I did. I went into it expecting that, due to the trailers and whatnot. and and my expectations were met with a fun ride that has a good ending, and I really enjoyed it, except for the one big thing. So
yeah. Well, I'm assuming we'll get that in spoilers there.
yeah.
So, yeah, without going into spoilers, it's hard to like really go into detail in this movie because a lot of it's just like the insane over the top action and
Yeah.
specific scenes are just fucking crazy. So, besides that, was there anything else you guys wanted to say without spoiling before we get into it?
No, I think if you're looking for some mindless entertainment and just looking to have a good time, go check it out. It's a good movie.
Yep, it's just a cool movie. Don't expect like anything ridiculous, or not ridiculous, but
don't expect an Oscar performance or Oscar worthy movie, but
but for a international film, this is fucking awesome.
yeah, for sure. I think they did an amazing job on this film, and it was just a really good, dumb, fun time. So yeah, I think that's it for us. We're gonna head into the spoiler section.
Before we do that, let's get our ratings out there.
Oh yeah.
So Ocean, only difference is obviously kind of like the scale and theme.
Yep.
Lowest being dirt, then moving on up, dirt, copper, silver, gold, diamond being the highest.
I'm super excited to do this because obviously I've seen a lot of your guys' videos and stuff, and I'm super excited to give my first ever Minecraft.
Yeah. So go ahead. What's your rating?
Put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, it goes dirt, stone,
dirt,
iron,
copper,
silver, or dirt,
copper, silver, gold, diamond.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm gonna go silver. Silver on this movie. Like I said, there's one really major thing that I think could have been done way better, but outside of that, it's just a really fun movie. So I'm gonna go silver.
Okay, Taylor, what about you?
Silver early game though. Early game. Like imagine you just spawn in and you find like a deposit of silver. You're still.
Oh, so it's a very high silver.
So it's like a high. Silver,
got it.
You're like.
I mean, honestly,
it's not like,
even
not like
late game, like silver still kind of like holds everything up.
By that time, you have a bunch of like gold and diamond already.
Right. Well, gold is trash. Gold is just garbage. But yeah, theoretically, you should have. But you never know.
Early game silver rating for me.
Okay.
Early game silver.
Okay. Taylor?
Sisu for me gets a gold.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, had a lot of fun with this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also going to give it a gold. I would give it a diamond, but there is one thing that kind of I was kind of disappointed with, but if that had been changed, it would have been a diamond for sure. But yeah, I'm going to give it a gold.
Nice.
All right, well, so that's our ratings. We're going to head into the spoiler section. We'll see you guys there. All right, let's go into some spoilers. Ocean, I want to ask you, what was your favorite scene of this entire movie?
Favorite scene?
Yeah, if you could pick one. Could be an action scene, could be anything.
That's a hard one. My favorite scene,
or even like what scene stood out to you the most,
I mean, probably just because of its like sheer ridiculousness.
Mm-hmm.
The scene of him cutting open dudes' throats to be able to breathe longer underwater.
That was fucking hilarious.
That was like amazing.
I was just like, oh my god, like that's so insane. But at the same time, like in theory, it could potentially work.
Yeah.
But like the odds of it working are extremely slim.
Yeah.
But it's such a cool thought though to have to put in the movie.
Yeah.
It was. We've seen people like kiss underwater to help each other breathe longer, right?
Right.
But
that's not the same.
Like to slice a dude's throat open and then get in there and like Dracula suck the air out of his esophagus. That's pretty metal, bro.
Yeah, I have to agree. That was definitely my favorite scene of the movie. Was him just fucking breathing out of people's necks. That was pretty insane. What about you, Taylor? What was your standout scene of this movie?
So my favorite scene in this movie, and this is maybe not accurate to why I like it, but it's just how I feel about it. Because this guy portrays a Finnish commando, I basically equate that to a Green Beret in our forces, even though it might not be 1-to-1, exact the same.
Sure.
But because it appears that way to me, or at least I equate them to be the same. The Green Beret motto is "The Oppressor Liberator," which is to liberate the oppressed. And so my favorite scene is actually when he saves all the females, gives them weapons. They pull up to the other truck, and then she's like, "What's up, bro?" And he's like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And then the girls in the back rip up the fucking soft top and just start hosing down all the Nazis.
Just absolutely decimate them.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, that scene was awesome. There was a lot of great scenes in this movie, but yeah, there was it was really nice to see an international film with because I'm not a lot of times when I watch like most of the international films that I see are like Asian films, and if they're not like kung fu melee fighting type of films, a lot of the times a lot of the action is very CGI, especially like Chinese films. But
it's kind of hard to watch. Seems
right,
cheap. Yeah.
But I appreciated that this movie had a lot of practical effects, and they did a fucking amazing job with the practical effects. My opinion, a lot of the scenes where he's like super fucked up and like,
oh man, dude,
I mean, those practical effects were,
even when the horse blew up.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was so fucked.
Was insane.
Yeah,
that was insane.
Yeah, the practical effects.
What was fucking funny
on another level.
was when he initially sets off the mine and they're trying to capture him, and he's just in the dust cloud, and then he's like, "You go," and he's just like, "Huh?" And fucking throws his shield with a mine and just explodes.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking awesome how much
it was like a Captain America moment.
They could fit into this movie.
Before we go on, can I just share what my one major flaw was?
Sure.
It's irking at me, and I'm curious to know if you guys felt the same way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the biggest thing that drew this movie down, and if it had been done differently, it probably would have pushed my rating up way higher, was the fact that this movie was in English.
That was also my one thing that I did not like.
So I think that if they had actually made this movie in German for the Nazi part, and for Finnish for the Finland part, the people, because there was some Russian. Finnish, or Russian. There was some Finnish and Russian spoken.
Yeah, they had some scenes where they spoke their native
and
tongue.
the only words that we hear come out of our main character's mouth ever in the entire movie is Finnish. So, but I think if they had actually done that for the entire
except for the
movie,
very end.
Yeah, so he only spoke at the
English
very end of the
movie.
Very
end, yeah.
Well,
he talks to the banker. He's like, "Give me big bills now, so I don't have to carry this heavy ass shit." No,
I'm pretty sure he spoke in Finnish.
Yeah, he did. It wasn't Finnish. Yes,
and that's the only time that he speaks.
Because he speaks because right before that is the scene where the Russians and the Finnish girls are talking to each other.
Yeah, and that's the only words that ever come out of his mouth. So I just think that it really would have added such a better effect of immersion and authenticity if they had been speaking German, and Russian and Finnish.
Agree.
I think it just would have really pushed this movie over the top. And knowing that it's an international film and that it premiered over there first, it's so interesting to me why it wasn't done. Or why it was filmed and went on in English.
I have a sneaking suspicion that it was actually originally in like their native language or whatever, because a lot of the German dialogue sounds like it's being dubbed over.
I had a thought that maybe it was dubbed, but I was watching the mouths and stuff, and it's not. They're speaking English.
Yeah, but the way that their tone of voice is and everything, it just sounds that way because they're just like.
Well, I'm sure that those actors are probably
to do like a German accent, but it's not really coming through with like the best, gravitas.
I just think that like in this day and age, there's no reason not to. I understand 10, 15 years ago when Hollywood was very, very like USA, like everything's got to be English, otherwise people don't want to watch it kind of thing. And a lot of foreign films they dubbed in English or they filmed in English in order to increase the potential audience size for their film. But in this day and age, man, like there's so many foreign films and so many foreign speaking films that like I just think it would have been so much better if it was in German.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely didn't need to be in English.
Yeah, I mean, I agree as well. It would be better in the native language for whatever the respective one is at the time.
Yeah.
I don't think this movie would do as well if it was not in English. Just because I watch a lot of things that are not in English, and most of the time, if it's hitting the U.S. fucking market, it's gonna get dubbed because that's just the primary language here. And since it's a large audience that they want to capitalize on, that is just something they kind of have to do. Especially being Finnish, I don't think there's a whole lot of people here that would really care for it to be in that language, other than us and a select number.
Yeah.
If it's something maybe like more widely accepted, like Spanish in this country, sure, but
Yeah.
obviously it doesn't relate to the story.
I mean,
but
I saw it on Friday, and it like I don't know if it would really make a difference because when we went to go see it, I mean, there was really only like 5 people in the theater, and they were all like 60 or 70-year-old dudes. So I don't know that it would really like boost or really take away from the. I don't you know what I mean?
I think you make a good point, Taylor. The only thing is, I think that I lost my train of thought now. Damn it! I was looking at my water bottle and I thought about taking a drink of water, and then I just completely lost my train of thought.
Well, Taylor makes a good point.
Yeah.
It is America is hard to please with languages that aren't English.
So yeah, I think you make a good point. I just think that like the movie was marketed as just an action adventure, right? And it it wasn't meant to be this like incredible, well told story thing. It was meant to be like, oh, come have a fun ride of action. And so whether or not they talked English or German, I don't think it would have made it that big of a deal. And
well, that's what I'm saying is it doesn't make a big deal to you guys, but I'm almost certain that it makes a huge difference for somebody promoting a movie that is not from this country, and to make it even remotely successful here in the U.S. Because, like you said, there wasn't a lot of people that watched it. So if their best chance is to make it in English, then that's why they decided to do so otherwise. Now, I do think that this movie, because it was like, I thought it was dubbed too, just from the sound and like the looking at the characters, at least for some of them. The translation is a little awkward for certain things, and I think that kind of affects the movie a little bit. But
yeah, it takes away the inflection and connotation that you get from tone and diction and whatnot that people use when you have stuff.
Because and the biggest thing or like thing about that in particular with this movie is that they sounded like Americans trying to act like other characters when they are not.
Yeah.
Like with their dialogue, which is the problem I had. I don't really care whether it's English or not, but because it's in English and I know the language and you're speaking as if you are an American, that feels weird. Like looking at it,
Especially with the Germans. I think the Germans definitely should have been dubbed.
Right.
They had a lot of like the not great inflections and like how they did their lines. It definitely would have been way better if they had done it just in German. Another thing that made me feel like some part of this movie has to be dubbed is because even when they're speaking in English at times, there's still subtitles under the screen. Like when that girl was talking to the Nazi guy and she's like,
I mean, I can't imagine they shot this in like multiple languages because
I can't imagine they
the
had
budget for this
that.
is insanely low. Like honestly, it's potentially the lowest we've had on a movie on our show.
Really? What was the budget?
It's like 6 million euros, which equates to like 6.6 million US dollars.
Damn. Yeah, that's super.
Which is really low, but it's still better than General Commander.
Yeah. Thank God. But yeah, I mean, besides that though, besides the
besides
voice
that, it was a fun
lines,
movie.
it was a fun ride.
There's one little thing that got a little ridiculous for me, but it was still just I kind of just like, all right, it's a Fast and the Furious moment. Okay, it's the final plane.
when he drops the bomb.
It.
Yeah.
No, the bomb was fucking hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Just the fact that he drove at the plane and then used his pickaxe to like hang on to it. He's flying while hanging on, and sure does fall eventually, but then he just hacks away at the plane. It's like, oh, okay. I mean, it's cool, and I like it's real nitpicky, but it's just it's a little extra.
Leading up to that, when he's making his way through the caravan of people, and he's like climbing all over the truck, and the tank is like 12 feet behind him.
Yeah, nobody sees.
They never see anything.
Yeah.
But
I
mean,
that's when you have to.
There's like a tiny bit of room.
It's a suspend of belief. Right.
There's a tiny bit of room for that one, but the plane, nah, dude.
Yeah, probably not.
Because the truck, it's not like fully flush, so there is a little gap. But
you're also not going like 300 miles an hour,
right?
Yeah,
fucking taking off into the sky. I get that, but I think it just adds to the. I think those scenes just kind of add to the like fun, just over the top, actionness of the movie.
Like we said in the beginning, when you have a movie like this, you have to suspend your belief in order to appreciate the movie.
Yeah. And I think if it was in CGI, I would have a different opinion of like, the suspending disbelief and those scenes happening and everything. But because
especially since they had such a low budget,
right?
CGI wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, but since everything was like practical, it really did. It was just super fun to see, like, no matter how ridiculous it got, it was just awesome because, there's just like people's fucking limbs flying around and
just
one more thing that was go ahead. It's really stupid.
Yeah,
but bro, if you took a shot every time his little henchman reloaded his Car 98, you would probably be drunk. Like every single time he stands there, he's like, oh.
Yeah.
Like,
you gotta make it look cool. You know what I mean? It's gotta look cool.
Everybody loves the sound.
What looked cool was him shooting that fucking machine gun, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk about ridiculous? You want to talk about ridiculous? Is when Sisu picked up the fucking German dude on his back and was just running, and the guy shooting a 50 caliber machine gun like straight at the dude.
That was like an anti-air machine.
I was like, okay, there's no way that those rounds are not just obliterating the guy's body behind you and going through you.
Yeah.
Or you could see like
in the very beginning,
his ass literally just exploded like when it got hit, and I was like, "There's no fucking way that."
Or in the very beginning when like there's a cloud of dust and everybody's shooting at him, and he just has his gold mining pan in front of him, just deflecting all the bullets. It's like,
you didn't know that's made of vibranium, dude. Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool though. That was fucking sick.
Cool. It was actually just like Wolverine and Captain America.
Yeah, I have to say, I did. I love that he literally like could not be killed through this entire movie, no matter how many times he got.
Doesn't matter if he got hanged, like he was literally hung.
Yeah.
And dude, how gnarly was it?
Oh, dude, when he put himself on the rebar.
Oh my god, he had a bullet hole in his leg, ladies and gentlemen.
It was like it was a huge hole though.
It was, and he stuck up. There was a piece of rebar coming out of the pole, and he stuck his leg into the rebar so that his body would be
holding him.
Yes, so that he
could
breathe.
Just choking.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine the balls.
That was gnarly.
Yeah, dude, this guy literally.
And you know what's even crazier? Not only did he do that, he then proceeded to fall asleep with his leg in the
while it's there.
Yeah. He took a nap and then he was like, "All right, it's time to get up."
now I'll get off.
Yeah.
After I've rested for the night. He's like, this seems like a good place to sleep.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking nuts. That was pretty gnarly. And when he fucking lit himself on fire, I was like,
Bro,
Jesus Christ, dude. How are you not just like, yeah? He was like,
that is the most BDE thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Dog chasing you down.
The only way
is to just turn around and you're just like,
light yourself on fire.
Yeah, when he lit himself on fire, and then he like,
I want to know what kind of matches he's using, because
that light.
Bro, what lights that fast, that easily? Come on.
Yeah, he fucking lit himself on fire, and then he jumped in the river or the fucking lake or whatever, and had there was like the fire didn't even like burn his skin. He was just like,
I mean, technically, like he was covered in diesel fuel, and the diesel fuel would burn before he burns, and that's how like a lot of like circus acts and stuff survive lighting themselves on fire. Is they use some kind of.
I don't know, man. It was like there was a good amount of time between him lighting himself on fire and then him jumping into the he had to run over there. You know what I mean? So.
For him, it's like
I mean, obviously, he's immortal. He doesn't give a fuck, but
doesn't give a shit.
That just made it cooler. Was that he lit himself on fire, then jumped into the lake and proceeded to breathe out of people's necks? So, like, that was fucking nuts, dude. Like, he just does the craziest shit in this movie. It was fucking awesome.
Or he, gets blown up by a grenade and just yanks all the fucking shrapnel out of his stomach.
Yeah, dude, that scene when he's like,
and then proceeds to create his own fucking staples.
Yeah,
out of a piece of wire.
Yeah, when he's like fucking stitching himself back up and shit, that scene was fucking brutal, dude. And the guy's like sitting next to the pole, he's like, like crying
in terror.
And his like stomach is like literally hanging out, and he's just like, fuck, like that shit was fucking awesome. Yeah,
it was crazy, man.
Yeah, this movie was a blast. I bet
you, Connor. I bet you really, really loved the fucking sound and music in this. Because it was just all
yeah, dude. The soundtrack. I have to say that the soundtrack in this movie fucking slapped, dude.
It was awesome. Yeah,
I loved the throat singing, like Finnish throat singing music. That was fucking epic as hell. Especially like, and a lot of the cinematography was really good too. I liked a lot of the scene shots, and like just the beautiful vistas of Finland were pretty great to see. So, hats off to the sound design and cinematography team.
Yeah, those burnt down gas stations are pretty dope.
Yeah. Well, when he's digging for gold, I mean, it was like the area around him was beautiful, and then you like look off into the distance and he sees all the fucking bombs going off and shit. I was like, damn, that shit's fucking crazy.
That gold definitely just had a fucking light shining on it to reflect onto his face.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing that I was a little disappointed in for him, just because like it seemed like throughout the movie, every time he makes it through like a big test or whatever, he ends up using the vehicle or whatever that the person chasing after him used, right? So like when he was breathing the people's lungs underwater, he then used the boat to get across the river,
right?
And then when he killed the two pilots that landed the plane looking for gas, he then took the plane and flew off in the plane because he could fly a plane.
Crashed it.
And then he crashed it to cause a roadblock. But then, like in my head, I was like, "Oh, does that mean he's gonna get in the tank and use the tank for something?" But then he didn't, unfortunately. Well, I was hoping. I was hoping at the end of the movie, he was like gonna kill everybody in the tank. And he's gonna get in that bitch, and then he was just gonna shoot the plane down.
That would be funny too.
He was just gonna like be like, you know what? Fuck it. Just one man drive and shoot the tank.
I was gonna say it'd be really difficult to do that because it takes, depending on the tank, it might takes at least.
I wouldn't put it past him.
At least 2 or more. But
he could probably load.
If anybody's gonna do it, it's probably
with one hand. Yeah. It was pretty awesome. Even the ending of this movie was just so fucking over the top. It was like
that was another ridiculous thing. Like, I would have much preferred him to find a parachute, do a really cool jump out of the plane. But no, they wanted to go full balls to the wall, just strap in and fucking crash that plane into
that plane went nose first, hit the ground, exploded on impact. The entire plane exploded on impact,
and apparently submerged by the time you see him next time, and he's like crawling out of the mud.
and he survived 100%.
And he's fine.
So
He's
yeah,
fine, dude.
I mean, he is a badass.
He also survived getting whipped in the head like 15 times by this mace thing that the guy made out of a parachute line.
That's the static line for.
Yeah. Dude, that was when I saw that was kind of a gnarly point for me because I would as she was just like, stop. I was like, ooh.
I thought it was actually weird that like when he was doing that, his face didn't really show it as much as I would think. While he was
his entire cheek was hanging out. He was just like,
yeah, but he already had a mark there, and like from how many times he was whipping him, I expected more going on. But
no, I definitely did.
That doesn't really matter. But
yeah, I was just like, God damn, that dude is.
They get a lot of made of iron. That guy's made of iron. Yeah, could not even be fucking injured. He just shook it off like it was nothing. Yeah, but yeah. Overall,
such a cool premise for a movie, right? Like,
yeah,
you have a people that live and die in the cold, and they just have this mentality, and that's what Sisu is, right? For those of you that don't know, it's a Finnish word that has no English translation in it.
Yes, they will tell you that like 6 times,
like 7 times. But it's just that like there's no quit, and he did not quit no matter what the hell happened to him.
No matter what, he fucking just got right back up.
I was fully expecting the dog to die, though.
Half died.
So I was kind of surprised it didn't.
Once the horse died,
yeah,
I was like, "Oh, damn, dog has died."
I was surprised that the dog just kind of kept showing up everywhere. Like, he took the fucking the German fighter plane and flew off in like a completely different direction, crashed the plane in front of the convoy, and then by the end of the
at the end
left the dog at the gas station. Yeah, and then by the end of the movie, the dog is like back with him, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Connor, the dog is Sisu.
Yeah. That's true. The dog probably just like
Sisu,
followed the plane in the air, and he was just like, "Oh my god."
He was flying the plane.
You know what's crazy though was that this guy is so fucking like ballsy that it's not a Stuka. I don't know what fucking plane it was, but it had fucking bombs on it, and he didn't just bomb the convoy. He crashed the plane and then was like, "I'm just gonna kill you guys."
I'm not even gonna land either. I'm just gonna crash this bitch.
Well, I imagine he doesn't really know how to fly it that well. So
I don't know, man.
Partially why he crashed.
He just took off like it was nothing.
He took off.
Taking off is not really the problem when you're flying a plane. It's coming back down.
Yeah, I was just surprised. He didn't just. I was like, I would have just lit the fucking convoy up. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, we don't really care about those Finnish girls in the back of the.
I mean, he obviously knew like which fucking thing the girls were in because he just I'm here. Here's your guns, and then he fucking
he stabs the dude in the head with his.
I mean, at first he was actually like, I guess shocked when he come in. Like he knew there was somebody in there, but when he comes in, he kind of like stands there. He's like, "Oh, well, here you go."
Realize there are this many of you.
Yeah, so he's like, "Here, you can have the MP40."
Yeah, I love the use of the World War II guns in this movie as well, like the MP40. And
it was cool to see those back on screen. It's been a while.
We didn't get to see a fucking.
You didn't see like a MiG or an SCG-44.
Yeah, it was mostly just MP40s, Car 98,
or an MG.
Yeah, or an MG. Lots of MGs. But it was super awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You guys recommend to see in the movie theater, or?
Yeah, definitely. This is like John Wick, where you're going for a ride. Yeah. So you might as well go for that ride on the biggest screen with the best sound.
Yeah.
Sound possible. Like just go have a blast. Go be mindlessly entertained, and it's a shorter movie too by today's standards.
It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah, by today's standards, it's a shorter movie, so you're not gonna be spending 3 hours at the movie theaters. Go, just spend an hour and a half having a good mindless fun, and then.
Yeah. What about you, Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, I would highly recommend this. I don't if it's possible. I don't know how widely screened this is because I had to go to a completely different theater to watch it.
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
for sure recommended.
Yeah, so I'm gonna agree. I think you should definitely go see it in the theater, and like Ocean said, it's a shorter movie, so I think that actually plays to the movie's advantage really well because it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Yep,
and
100%.
It's a fun time the whole time, and it doesn't get boring or old.
Yeah,
and definitely, I would have loved to see this in 40x, but that'll never happen.
That's not happening.
Yeah, it wasn't filmed in 40x. So.
Yeah, but that would have been fucking awesome.
It would have been cool. It would have been cool. All the bombs and explosions going off.
Yeah.
I can't say that. I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend seeing it in theaters, but I wouldn't recommend getting a whole lot of snacks, especially if you're somebody that doesn't have a very strong stomach.
Okay.
Oh,
if you can't handle gore,
they're not shy.
Maybe don't.
They're not shy with the blood and the guts. And stuff.
Yeah, if you can't handle like a lot of, I don't know. I would say this has I would say this has like more gore than John Wick in general.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you can't, if that's like your limit, then don't get snacks, or maybe just
some popcorn.
Maybe just skip the movie if you can't really handle it.
Don't watch it if you can't handle it.
But yeah, I think that's all I have to say for this movie. Anybody else got anything?
It was good fun, man. It was fun. A lot of crazy scenes. A lot of just like what the hell.
Yeah.
And then the way it ended to me was so satisfying.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't this big thing. It was just him. He went to a bank in Helsinki and was like, "Give me money for this gold."
I'm tired of carrying this gold.
Yeah, it was just like a moment of him being like, oh yeah, like this is just my life. It's not like he's like, oh, I survived all these crazy things and I did all these crazy things. Just like I just want my money for the gold and I'll get out of here. Like
it's
just
somebody of his caliber wouldn't care about anything anyway. So
it's just a normal everyday thing for me, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining us on this episode of Diamond in the Rough. Really enjoyed the movie. Hopefully you guys go see it. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave it down below. If you saw the movie, let us know what you think. If you didn't see the movie, why not?
You're wrong. So
yeah, what turned you off about the movie before you decided to go see it or not? Taylor?
Give us a like if you liked the video. Otherwise, we will catch you guys on the next episode. Leave a like, especially if you want Ocean to return.
Please.
Thank you guys for having me.
If you don't want him to return, leave a dislike. We understand.
I get it. I get it.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Like the video, please.
It's all right. I appreciate you guys having me on the show. I'm really stoked to be here. And,
thank you to Ocean
on the show.
Thank you to Ocean for being here. We really enjoyed having you. It was a blast. Hopefully you'll be on here some more in the future, please.
Hopefully.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye, guys.